Good morning, everybody. So today is Monday, January the 18th. I don't know if you can see that, but it's Monday, January the 18th. So I just thought I'd give you a little proof of time and where we're at. So good morning. It's a good Monday morning. I don't even know what it looks like outside. I woke up a little bit early this morning, get things going. So let's take a look at the stats and see where we're at today. Trying to hit or started at 194 pounds on January the 1st. So a piece of information went back to my data that my scale stores on the internet, and it stores all the data that I've ever had for the last 8 or 10 years that I've owned it, this Withings scale that I have. Turns out I took that measurement, 194, at 10:14 a.m. in the morning on January 14th. Now, for the longest time, I was thinking I took that at night after a very, very big meal, and which would have explained the high weight, right? So it would have said, I ate all day and all that stuff. But turns out that weight was at 10:14 a.m. in the morning. So that's probably a fairly accurate weight within a pound or so. Maybe it's a pound over. And what we're going to do is I'm going to make that up no matter what. I'm going to lose 30 pounds no matter what. But I'm going to say that this is not 4 pounds over. I'm going to say maybe this is a pound over. So I'll be nice and aggressive near the end of this process, and I'll put in a couple of extra pounds for good measure. So goal is 164, or a 30-pound difference. To do that in 60 days. Where are we at? Where are we at 17 days into this process, or as of yesterday, or as of this morning, where are we at 17 days into it? 15.9 pounds lost, because this morning I weighed in on 178.1, which was a fairly significant number. I was very happy about that again. Wasn't surprised because I really stuck to my diet yesterday. In fact, on several occasions, and I'm looking at my data right now, but on several occasions yesterday, I made a conscious effort to reduce the number of calories that I had going into my body. So when I was prepping my meals, I would knock off a few calories. I'd take a little bit off here, and I'd take a little bit off there. It was productive, and I think it paid off. And one of the things that I also noticed yesterday, and as I'm doing this, as I'm pulling up my numbers for you, one of the things that I noticed yesterday was I didn't want to have that latte. I never had it. Right? It was my celebration latte, and I never had it. I decided to go without it and see how far I could go throughout the day to make that happen. So very happy about that. The other side of that was my kids kept offering me food during the day. It's a nice big breakfast with lots of carbs, and my daughter kept, giving me a fork of her food, I guess, to clean off her plate behind her mommy's back. And I didn't want to take it. I just didn't want to. And yesterday's meal, yesterday's dinner time was, I prepared it according to my instructions, knocked off a few calories, had a hard time getting through it. It was a big volume of food. I got tired about halfway through of eating the food. I ate it because I knew I needed the calories. I knew that I just couldn't play this game of really depriving myself of calories just because I didn't feel. I was forcing myself to eat. And, at 1,160 calories, you probably should force yourself to eat. You probably should not get into this psychological game of saying, let's see if I can only eat half this meal and see how much weight I can take off by tomorrow. That stuff doesn't matter to me. I want to stick to the diet. I want to do the number of calories that I have. One of the things that I also want to point out is when I take a measurement, I step on the scale 3 times in the morning. And the reason I do that is because that scale will be off from one reading to another by 0.1, 0.2 pounds. So what I do is I take the highest weight. There was a 178.0 this morning. I couldn't pull it up for you, but there was a 178.0 this morning. So I weighed myself 3 times. And I take the highest weight, not the lowest weight, because if I take the lowest weight, then tomorrow is a bigger challenge, right? So I take the highest weight, But there was, I think it was two 178.1 readings and 178.0 reading. So, I mean, who knows? That just depends how you stand on the scale and all that stuff. So, so weighed in January 18th, weighed in at 178.1 pounds, which I believe is I think yesterday we were 178.9. So yesterday, looking at my data here. So yesterday, yeah, 178.9. So it came down 0.8 pounds. 0.8 pounds is another good number. So that means I'm up to close to 16 pounds off on my little meter. We've got 15.9 pounds off that we've dropped in 17 days, and 14.1 pounds to go in 43 days. 14.1 pounds to go in 43 days. Can I make it? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can definitely make that. Life events, you know, let's hope they're stable. Let's hope nothing drastic happens in the next few weeks. But I think that if my life continues to be sort of the same format that it is right now, very manageable, very predictable, very controlled. It's a very controlled environment, right? This calorie counting, you know, then that'll give me the opportunity to ingrain this habit, ingrain the habit of weighing my food, ingrain the habit of taking my body measurements in the morning, ingrain the habit of looking at my data and encouraging myself to either continue to lose weight to, you know, reach the goal that I'm at, or to maintain my weight, right? Just to maintain my weight. Or if I'm mass building, if I want to put on lean body mass, my diet habits are going to be crucial in that, right? Because I'm going to have to start eating a lot more now, right? I don't know how I'm going to feel about that based on last night. I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle, you know, 2,700 calories a day. It's more than twice as much as I'm eating right now. So, you know, that's where we stand. I think this process has been great for me. It's been wonderful. I never expected to see these kinds of results at this speed. I thought I could get the results. I thought I could get 30 pounds in 60 days, but I didn't realize I could do almost a pound a day and achieve my goal in maybe a little more than half the time. So here we are, doing very well. I'm very satisfied with this. So, you know, the rest of the update is got a ketone reader. I was figuring that if I was going to, you know, prick my finger to get my BGL, my blood glucose levels every day and night, every morning and night, might as well get a ketone, a blood ketone reader. I know that the most popular format is to sell the strips that you put in your urine stream. And I figured, since I'm already getting a drop of blood, why don't I get a digital reader that'll keep a record of this, a digital record? I like the idea of having devices that are machine readable and keep a record. That way, you know, I don't have to go and write things down. There might be an event where I have to go write something down, and I'm already drawing blood on a day, you know, twice a day. So I might as well use the same drop of blood for both machines, and then just take my readings and record them. So this morning, when I recorded my my blood ketone levels, I was surprised to see that they were at 1.3. Last night I read them and they were at 0.7. So you probably saw a little video of that at the beginning. That was last night. And so that was my bedtime ketone level, 0.7. 1.3 this morning, nice and much higher, twice as much as it was yesterday. My blood sugar level this morning, 83, very reasonable. Last night it was 100, this morning it was 83. So going to bed with around 100, waking up around 80, very good, extremely good trends. So that's great. One of the things that I found on the internet is I found this little sheet right over here, which basically describes ketone levels. This is from a place called Keto Mojo. And so I just copied this down. And what it says is, you know, right around here, you're not in ketosis at 0.5, but you start getting into ketosis just past the 0.5 level. So that's the nutritional ketosis, right, is beyond 0.5. So last night I was at 0.7, and this morning I'm at 1.3, 1.4. Yeah, 1.3 up here. So I'm right up here, right, which is called moderate ketone zone. And then there's a post-exercise ketosis over here, and then there's a fasting ketosis over here, which I don't think I'm willing to get to. And then there's danger zones down over here. So be nice to kind of get myself over here. We'll see as I drop the carbs, because my diet, my caloric intake is dropping over time. And where I'm scavenging calories, where I'm sacrificing calories, is in the least useful food every day, which is rice, white rice. I'm getting rid of that. I'm phasing that out, 4 or 5 calories a day. So that's going to dramatically lower the amount of carbohydrates I take into my system, because the last carbohydrates that I'm going to be taking into my system are going to be greens, microgreens, broccoli and microgreens. So I'm going to get myself down into probably a blood ketone level that's going to be probably in the 2.0 range at some point. It's going to happen. So it's going to be interesting to track that and see what happens. See if I lose weight faster, see if I maintain weight. What I do know is that I am definitely controlling my weight and losing weight by controlling the amount of calories I put into my mouth more than the types of calories that I'm putting in, right? I know, because I'm having a variety. I'm having fat, proteins, and carbs, but what I'm having is controlled amounts, controlled volume of calories, controlling those calories in. So this is all good information. I was very pleased to see the kind of data that I'm getting. Let's take a look at some of the graphs right now. The first graph, obviously, this is the 5-day average of the weight loss. And, what we've noticed over here is, continuing to get that average to aim toward down along with the trend line, right? So it's kind of just like bouncing back and forth. And again, right, we're taking these measurements on such a frequent basis that it's really like staring at the stock market on this one. But still, 5-day average weight loss does flatten out the curve a little bit. 5 days is a very fast average when you're looking at daily numbers. You really, maybe if I had more data, I'd move it to 9. I do a 921 like traders do. I do a 921 average. But right now, I have so little data that I just want to do a 5-day average, because I've only been at this for 17 days. My daily weight loss, again, is trending downwards. You can see that trend line. And so, every day the weight loss sort of approaches that trend line. Today it was 0.8 pounds. Yesterday was 1 pound, right? So I've got a lot of days where I've got 1 or more pounds. I've got a lot of days where it's less than 1 pound. So again, fluctuations a lot like the stock market. So let's take a look at the next sheet over here. This document basically says that the total lost and total calories allowed are virtually mirror images of themselves, right? I mean, I wonder what the correlation between calories allowed and total lost are. Does anybody take a guess? My guess is it's probably approaching 1. It's probably above 0.9 in terms of the correlation values. This looks very strong. Obviously inversely correlated, but very, very strong. And look at this beautiful data capture line against this trend line. It's very nice, and same with the calories allowed. So here we are today, down to 1,155 calories. I haven't felt this 5-6 calorie a day reduction in my diet. I haven't felt it. To be honest with you folks, haven't felt it. In fact, like I said yesterday, felt like I was having more food than I needed at dinner time. So this is a very good approach that I'm taking, because I've knocked off close to 80 calories so far. I don't know, gosh, 100 calories. I think I'm close to 100 calories now. So this is a very, very good approach. You don't really feel the pinch here and the pinch there. I'm crediting somebody on YouTube who said that, but this is very good. I'm very pleased with this. These numbers are truly approaching the trend line, and so it's very predictable as to where I'm going to be in 31 days. So in 31 days, looks like I'm going to be around somewhere between 25 to 30 pounds lost, which is phenomenal. I'm very, very grateful that this is happening. And in terms of calories allowed, I'm going to be around 1075. See, I know this now, right? This is predictable. I know where I'm headed, and I feel great about this kind of data. This is easy for me to work with. I really enjoy doing this process because I'm continuously encouraged by the information to keep going. And of course, this is my pre-breakfast blood glucose level. Today was a very nice number, just a little bit over 80. Of course, it's trending down. It's trending down over time. So my body is adjusting. It's not sort of like I fast for 24 hours and I get a great blood glucose level reading, and and then I can go talk to my doctor about my annual checkup and pass with flying colors. What I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a persistent trend in my blood glucose levels, and it is definitely a downward trend. Now, the slope of this, trend line isn't exactly aggressive, but it's aggressive in terms of blood glucose levels. I mean, really, we're talking about levels between 80 and 100. I mean, that's really what you're looking at. And frankly, I don't know that it's healthy to have a blood glucose level below 80 in the morning. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what the data says or what the best practices are from the medical side. So again, very, very good information. I'm very satisfied with these numbers. And so yeah, those are great results, and it's easy to track. My spreadsheet is working for me. The spreadsheet's working really, really well. This is a good approach. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, well, why do you need, why? Like, I was intellectually curious to see if this could be done, right? So I saw a couple of videos online and said, wow, this is kind of neat. Let's give this a shot. I need to shed some weight, right? I'm not fitting well in my clothes. I am now. I'm fitting really well in my clothes. I can see it on my body, right? Like visually, in the mirror in the morning, I can see just how much weight I've lost, and it feels good. I took my watch down a notch this morning, so it's a little bit tighter this morning, but now I'm in notch number 3 instead of notch number 4. You can actually see a crease in the band where I normally set my watch. So I was thinking to myself, why in the world would I do this? I'm intellectually curious about it. I wanted to see how is it possible that people can do this. Can you do it? Can you sustain 30 pounds in 60 days? Great, so apparently I can, right? Maybe I can do better than that. Maybe I can do this in less than 60 days, right? It looks that way, right? It looks like maybe in 34, 33 days, I could lose 30 pounds, which is that's a big one. That would be a big one if I could do that. But I'm not going to try to do that, and I'm not going to set that out as a goal. But I will see if I can exceed my current goal, which is the 30 pounds in 60 days. And again, I might drop an extra 2 pounds just to make up for this number. But again, this is an accurate number. This is a morning weight number, right? My breakfasts are the same. I was always having the same breakfast, right? It's not like I'm having a different breakfast. And caffeine, water, and then a normal cycle of biology, of nature calling in the morning. So my guess is that weight is roughly accurate to start with. So anyway, this weekend I sat down and did a little project of staring at what's been going on. I just kind of retrospectively looked back at the last 17, 18 days and looked back actually a little bit longer before, as I was struggling with my decisions to lose some weight. So I came up with a set of observations, a set of lessons learned, and set of best practices so far, right? So the early observations, lessons learned, and best practices. So today I'll just cover some of the observations that I had, that I wrote down. A couple of ideas. I was discussing this with my wife, and she said it. She said, this diet is cheap. It's inexpensive. She went shopping, and she said, look, I bought like bags of broccoli, and I bought some chicken already cut, and then we also bought some whole chickens. Which turns out to be a great way to eat chicken. We do that a lot. We have whole chickens. Sometimes we roast them and stuff like that, and they're just great. But this diet is cheaper. It's costing about a third of the money that we were spending on me before, right? Because I ate a large variety of different types of foods and a lot of nuts. I used to eat a lot of nuts, almonds, cashews. Oh my God, right? So those are great. And I had snacks. So all those kind of peripheral foods, the foods that are not contributing to your, your base calorie needs, all those additional foods, those extraneous foods that you snack on and stuff like that, that stuff costs money. And right now we've cut all that stuff out. So this diet is much cheaper. My wife also mentioned that overall the cooking is a lot easier. She simplified the dishes and gone ahead because, like if she's making a chicken dish, she just takes a couple chicken breasts or maybe takes a dozen chicken breasts and puts them in the oven at the same time, right? So that's her period of cooking. So, but she said in general, the diet is, or the cooking is easier. It's simpler for her because she's closing the gap between what I'm eating and what we used to eat. She's kind of like finding a middle ground for her and the kids to eat. And so that's good news, right? It's less complicated. She's using fewer ingredients. And she likes it because my wife is, she's all about health. She's all about health and has always been, right? She works out every day. She maintains her, wedding weight after 2 kids. She's very determined. For her, losing the weight after the kids was, we had our kids fairly close together, and she never lost all the weight from the first child, and then gained weight again. But then after the second child, within 10 months, she just said, "That's it. I'm losing this weight." And then over a period of like 10 or 11 months, she went right back down to our engagement weight. So that was pretty remarkable. It's very disciplined. So for her, she doesn't mind making the cooking easier. She doesn't mind that. Another sort of observation was that all the novelty, all the sort of, I guess, the anxiety, the novelty, the not knowing around gathering my data, building my spreadsheets, all the data around, or all the novelty around trying to form the daily habit of, blood glucose levels in the morning and now ketones, but, taking those blood levels in the morning, blood levels at night, just being rigorous about that. All the novelty of how do I prepare a meal? Where does my weight scale go that's convenient in the kitchen, right? Find a spot, and we did. It took about a week or so. Find a spot where that scale's not in the way every day, but it's easily accessible for me. Finding the right bowl to prepare my food in because, I want to do it a certain way. Finding the right place to put the steamer so that I could steam my broccoli. All those things. Seems like a lot of work at the beginning, and it's it's scary at the beginning because oh, I forgot this, oh, I forgot that. Now that's just the way we do things now, right? It's become a habit. It's just the way we do things, and it's become second nature in 6 or 7 days. I mean, like now, I know exactly how to prepare my meals. Now I know that when I come down, I can just ask my wife, "Hey, what are we having today?" And she'll list the protein and the vegetable, and I'll just pop it into my spreadsheet, and I'll know exactly how many calories of that I can have. So that works, right? So everything at the beginning just was freaky, and now it's no big deal, right? I know that hunger is a good thing now. So when I feel hunger, I just remind myself, as I did before, but I remind myself again, this hunger means you're losing weight. That's what it means. And so it's okay to be hungry. And, nothing tastes better than being thin. And I can tell you right now, 17 days into this, I feel thinner. I'm not where I want to be. I don't look the way I want to look yet. But I think in 15 or 20 pounds from now, I'm definitely going to feel and look a lot better. I'm going to be able to wear some clothes. I saw some clothes in the closet yesterday that I'd like to wear again. So I'm also observing that I become a lot more disciplined a lot faster than I thought. One of the things that I did last year was I spent some really good think time, 4 or 5 days, really kind of covering some of my things that I wanted to change about myself. And one of the things that I want to change about myself is I want to, when I'm attempting to do something, I want to follow through. I've always, on a lot of things in my life, some things in my life I've followed through like really strongly because I wanted it. It was willpower, right? But this kind of thing, dieting's hard, right? Dieting's not easy, but this thing, I found a way that I can follow through, right? And it's because of, I guess it's because of my curiosity on the data, because I'm really curious. And again, I think everybody's curious about the data, right? Like if you're dieting, you're weighing yourself and you're measuring yourself and you're looking in the mirror. You might not be doing the level of details that I'm doing. Some people, a lot of people are. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of fit people out there. There's a lot of weightlifters that are doing this every day. They're like, nothing I'm doing is new. This is one of the best practices, and I'll talk about that later this week. Best practices, but it's just I become more disciplined, and it's easy. I don't know why, but it's just easier to become more disciplined. I don't know why. I became more disciplined very quickly on this diet. I've never been this disciplined about dieting before, so I'm very happy about that. I'm 100% no problem passing up food and snacks from the kids. It's 100%. Like, I'm just not cheating, and I feel good about that. And they say that the worst that you can feel is when you let yourself down. Not when you let. I mean, it's bad when you let other people down, especially kids and your spouse. But the worst that you can feel, the one that's the long-term destroyer of your soul and your self-esteem, is when you let yourself down. When you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. And even though nobody's looking, nobody's watching, you still don't do it, right? You're letting yourself down. So I feel like I'm not letting myself down, which means my self-esteem is going up. I feel better about myself, right? I'm focusing on positive things, and whatever I focus on, I'm attaching a meaning to. And right now I'm attaching a meaning of accomplishment. I'm attaching a meaning of you can do it. I'm attaching a meaning of positivity. So from there, I've got great emotions. I've got productive emotions, good emotions, right? The kind of emotions where I can go throughout for the rest of my day and be the person I need to be for the rest of my day because I've accomplished a big thing already. I wake up in the morning having a big win every day. I've had a big win every day because every day I've lost a little bit of weight for the last 17 days. So, I'm ecstatic. It's good stuff, right? So that's a great observation. And again, I can't talk enough about how emotions play into such a big factor in these little things like weight loss or lean mass gain or anything, professional success, personal success, relationship success, all these things. These little wins play a big role in your emotions, and your emotions are front and center. They define how you're going to behave and how you're going to react. So that's something that we should all keep in mind is keeping positive emotions. And you can do that by having little wins every day. Another observation, obviously, better sleep. Way better sleep. Getting those nice big stretches, 4 or 5 hours in a row. 3 cycles, 3 90-minute cycles in a row. That's great. More alert, more energy. No question about it. More alert, more energy. More energy. I'm seeing it now. Way more energy than I have had in the past. No more afternoon crashes. No more post-lunch crashes for me. I say as I'm having my cup of coffee, right? But of course, it's 6:30 in the morning, so I gotta have my coffee. So, but no more of that. Lots of energy, lots of alertness in the day, right? My brain's not mush during the day, and that happened pretty quickly. That happened within, I'd say, about 8-9 days, probably 9 days. Once I adjusted my salt levels, because I know I was pretty dehydrated and my electrolytes were off. Once I adjusted my salt levels, everything just came out really well, right? So this is good. What I like as an observation is I like knowing when I'm going to hit my goal. I like this idea. I like knowing what my trend line is. I like knowing that in 33 or 34 days, according to these numbers, but somewhere between 33 and probably 45 days, I'm going to hit my 30-pound goal. And I know that. Like, I can schedule that out, right? And that's great. I mean, I've got other things to do in life other than focus all my time and attention on dieting. And I don't want to diet for the next 10 months. I don't want to do this. I just want to get this over with. I've got other things I want to do. So, that's really good. And I was thinking about why would this be useful? Why would you want to know when you will lose, right? Oh, getting ready for a wedding. So if you're getting ready for a wedding and you want to lose X number of pounds, you want to lose, 5-10 pounds, this is the way to do it. You will know exactly when within days, you're going to have a trend line and you'll know exactly when. But wouldn't it be nice to say, well, I've got a wedding I got to go to in a month and a half, or maybe it's your wedding. That would be great. How about summertime? Beachbody, right? You saying, well, I gained a little bit of weight, right? We all know what happened last year, right? We've all been on lockdown. Nobody's been going to beaches, but maybe that's going to happen again soon. And, or maybe you've got a local pool that you want to go to or whatever, and you just want to look good for the summer, right? And you've got a couple months to go. It's January, it's mid-January. Say, by March, I'd like to have 25 pounds off. How do you do that? How do you do it without a plan? You just say, well, I want 25 pounds off, but you need a plan. You need a plan to get there. So this thing right here, daily caloric deficit, right? Every day, reducing the number of calories, 5-6 calories a day. This will do it for you. You will definitely drop weight. Now, I used an aggressive number, right? I took at least 1,000 calories out of my diet. I think I've taken more like 1,500 to 2,000 calories a day out of my diet, because you can't lose a pound a day without approaching 3,500 calorie deficit a day. So I must be an awfully active guy, and I don't notice it, but that's just something that's happening. So I just think that if you're going into like a school reunion, a wedding, photo family shoot, Marine Corps gathering, a wedding, again, the summer beach body, I think if you're doing that and you know the date, this is useful, because this tells you that you're going to achieve your goal. You're not going to show up at your wedding 5 pounds more trying to fit into your clothes. You just won't. That won't happen if you just stick to this. So those were my observations, and I thought that so far, midway through the process, those are my observations. I'll be doing an update on lessons learned, and also on the best practices that I've seen and experienced myself. What are the best practices for doing this particular style of dieting? Again, I know there's a lot of fad diets out there. This is old school. This is the same diet that that sort of like the old school baseline dieting has been recommended for the last I don't know, 100 years, 60 years, right? As long as we've known about calories and how the fats and carbs and proteins, as long as this has been the process, all I've done is wrapped a lot of metrics around it and been consistent about it, and try to find ways to motivate myself. Try to find ways to keep my emotions positive, because I know it's such a struggle to diet. So that's all I wanted to do. And I just want to kind of do it for me. I'm not trying to do this for other people, but I hope you can find some inspiration from this. I hope you can find some knowledge in this that you can use to attack your weight issues, whatever your weight issues or your weight targets or your diet targets, however you want to phrase that. I hope that you can find some useful information in this. Leave your comments below. Tell me what you think. Let me know about ketone levels. Where should I be at on this diet? Does it matter? Will I lose more weight because I'm in ketosis? Maybe I am. Maybe the way that I'm losing a pound a day is that in addition to the calorie deprivation, I'm in ketosis and have been for quite a while. I'm in mild ketosis, but maybe that's really working. Maybe that's where I need to be to do this stuff. So really good numbers. Very happy to be here. Gonna have a great day today. It's early. Gonna get the kids up, feed them, and then get on with my day. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon. I'll do an update soon. Cheers.